Hello guys, so we are starting a new topic today and this is the basic foundation block or the building block you can say for the whole combinatorics. Combinatorics means it is the complete section that contains set theory जो हम लोग आज सीखने वाले हैं, Venn diagrams, then permutation, combinations and probability. Okay, so the first few classes जो हम लोग अभी देखेंगे, like the upcoming classes, okay, they will be the foundation or the fundamentals for the combinatorics वाला part. Okay, so really I would request you all to pay attention. So things become very easy for you आगे जाके. Okay, so let's start. We'll be discussing the set theory today. And to understand set theory, we need to first understand the meaning of the term set. Okay, so what is a set? Okay, set is nothing but a well-defined collection of objects. Okay, I'll give you a few examples of set. Okay, 7 colors of the rainbow: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. It's a well-defined collection of objects. It is a set. Okay, talking about 7 notes of music: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Okay, they are also a set, right? Then 3 traffic lights: red, yellow, and green. That's a set. And 12 months of the year, Jan to December, again it's a set. Okay, well-defined collection of objects, right? Guys, so what I have done right now is I have given you a few examples of set on the screen. Some other examples can be the set of natural numbers, okay, set of prime numbers, odd numbers, real numbers, rational numbers, irrational numbers. Okay, they are all nothing but set only. Okay, now to denote set, guys, we have two categories. Okay, we have two types basically of denoting set. Okay, the one which I've given over here, it is basically called as the listing or the roster method. Okay, in which जो भी आपका set होगा, okay, you will list down, basically you will list down or write down all the elements of the given set, and that is called as the listing or the roster method of writing a set or representing a set. Okay, so as you can see here, I have just listed all the elements यहाँ पे of the set or the members of the set here. Okay, now we go on to the second category. As I told you, the example of natural numbers. Let's take one specific example. So let's say A is a set consisting of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so instead of listing down every element physically, okay, what I can do is I can write a general rule that defines the set. For example, now I will say A, okay, is a set of all X. Okay, here you can say that A is a set of all X such that, okay, these two dots mean such that, okay, the X, okay, the value of X belongs to, ये E जो दिख रहा है epsilon actually E नहीं है, epsilon जो है यहाँ पे E shape का, okay, this means belongs to N. Okay, so this entire statement means A is a set of all X such that X belongs to natural numbers and X is less than 11. Okay, you might as well have written X less than equal to 10, ये भी चल जाता. Okay, natural number less than equal to 10. Okay, so nonetheless, okay, this method of writing the set, okay, this method of writing the set, okay, without listing all the elements, it is called as the set builder form. Okay, so यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या करते हैं set builder में, guys? In a set builder form, you don't physically write down all the elements of the set. Okay, where do we use set builder form, guys? See, many a times it's practically impossible to write down all the members of the set. For example, if I tell you natural numbers are infinite, right? So I can't physically write down all the elements. So instead of that, I say A is a set of all X such that X belongs to N. कुछ constant वगैरह लगा, that also you can write X less than 11, so on and so forth. Okay, so these are the two ways of representing the set. Okay, we now go on further. Now guys, number of elements in a set, okay, it is denoted by N of A. Okay, इसको ऐसे denote करते हैं हम लोग, N of A, that denotes number of elements of set A, or mod A, right, or cardinality. Okay, इन तीनों का मतलब एक ही है, number of elements of the given set. Okay, so NA or mod A or cardinality, it means nothing but number of elements of a given set A. All right, so let's discuss some types of sets now. The very first set is basically called as a universal set. Okay guys, कैसा होता है कि let's say you want to analyze a few numbers, or if you suppose want to analyze you want to carry out some analysis, उसके लिए you are making some observations. Okay, so जो पूरा complete list of observations रहेगा, that entire list of observations, it's called as a universal set, or the universal set of you can say the universal collection of all the elements here, it's called as a universal set. Okay, so जिसमें से हम लोग basically elements borrow करने वाले हैं, that is the universal set. Okay, that simple as that. Okay, so यहाँ पे I have taken the universal set as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, again, it's not, the name may be universal, but it's not actually universal. Okay, you define the universal set, okay, depending upon your usage. Okay, so here I have taken the usage as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and that is why I have called the universal set as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, अब guys, ये universal set में से I will withdraw certain elements and I will form new set. okay, and those sets will be basically called as subsets. okay, तो जैसे कि हमने क्या किया, हमने a b f और g निकाल लिया, okay, चार एलिमेंट्स निकाल लिए यूनिवर्सल सेट से, okay, a b f and g, and we are calling it as set x. okay, that x is the subset of the universal set. तो सबसेट फॉर्म करने के लिए नॉट नेसेसरली ये चार लेना है आपको, यू कैन टेक एनी नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स ऑफ योर चॉइस. ओके, लेट्स से आई टेक अ सेट w आउट ऑफ दिस. ओके, सो w को मैं क्या करता हूं, w में आई टेक एलिमेंट्स a b and c. okay, so w is a subset of the universal set consisting of elements a b and c. okay, you can also take the elements a b for and form a subset. okay, a b की जगह you can also take, let's say, a alone. okay, or let's say you can take a set, you can take an element b alone. okay, so all these are subsets of the universal set u in this case. okay, okay, जैसे जैसे हम लोग इसमें से elements borrow करेंगे and नए set बनाएंगे, you'll be generating subsets. okay, in fact, if I, let's say, call a set as p, okay, and I borrow all the elements a b c d e f g, that will also be a subset of the universal set. okay, alright, इनमें से अगर आप कुछ भी borrow नहीं करो, okay, let's call it a set q, कुछ भी मत borrow करो, खाली रखो, वो भी हो जाएगा अपना subset, okay, of the universal set. okay, so that's about the term subset, guys. okay, इसको denote करने का एक तरीका है यहाँ पे, x is a subset of u. so if you can refer to this symbol, x is a subset of u, यही मतलब होता है इसका कि x is basically derived out of u. okay, x is subset of u. okay, next, guys, proper subset. अब proper subset क्या होता है? okay, if the number of elements in the given set, okay, whenever they are less than the universal set, you have a proper subset, right? so यहाँ पे x is definitely a proper subset of the universal set. why? x के अंदर चार elements है, cardinality we studied sometime back. okay, and यहाँ पे u के अंदर we have 7 elements, right? so definitely x has been derived from u, and उसके elements जो है वो u से कम है, number of elements u से कम है, right? so definitely x is the proper subset here of u. तो guys, specifically इस proper subset को denote करने का एक तरीका होता है, okay, x and this symbol, okay, this inverted u, okay, actually rotated u, okay, that tells us x is a proper subset of u. okay, next, power set. okay, power set के बारे में हम थोड़ी देर में बात करेंगे guys. it is nothing but the set of all the subsets of a given set. okay, अगर मैंने u लिया है, u के सारे subset अगर मैं लूं और सारे subsets को एक set का नाम दे दूं, that is called as the power set. don't worry, we'll be discussing it in some time in great detail. okay, so आगे बढ़ते हैं. finite set has finite number of elements, and basically infinite set has infinite number of elements. As you can see, we saw the example of colors of the rainbow, then days of the months of the year, then traffic light, and all and musical notes. They are basically finite sets. Why? Because they have finite number of elements. okay, and infinite sets, okay, sets that contain infinite number of elements, okay, like natural numbers, whole numbers, real numbers, integers. okay, they are infinite in number, so they are basically the sets that contain infinite elements, and hence they are called as infinite sets. okay, आगे बढ़ते हैं towards the next part. In the next part, guys, we see something called as the equivalent set. okay, अब equivalent set का मतलब क्या होता है, guys? The equivalent set means the two sets that have the same number of elements. okay, so sets having the same number of elements, they are basically termed as equivalent sets. okay, जैसे कि मैंने यहाँ पे x लिया है. okay, suppose if I take a set, let's call it as z. okay, and z में I take the elements b, c, d and e. okay, so z का cardinality कितना है और number of elements कितना है, 4, right? and यहाँ पे x का भी number of elements कितना है, 4. so here, guys, x and z, they are equivalent sets. okay, दोनों के number of elements same है, 4 each. that means they are basically equivalent sets. okay, अब next आता है, guys, equal sets. okay, अगर मैंने suppose set z बनाया होता, okay, और z बनाते वक्त मैंने same elements a, b, f और g लिए होते. okay, a, b, f or g, the same elements which are there in set x. so x and z basically will be equal sets. okay, understand, guys? equivalent sets में number of elements equal होते हैं, equal sets में same elements होते हैं. okay, so here again, as I'm saying, sets that have the same elements, they are called as equal sets. okay, superset basically क्या होता है? okay, suppose if I take y, a set y as an example, y has a, b, d, f and g in this case, right? okay, so y को भी हमने derive किया universal set से, right? and हमने x को भी derive किया universal set से, right? isn't this the case, right, guys? so both x and y we have derived from the universal set. okay, this set x and this set y, we have derived both from the universal set. okay, but if you observe, the cardinality of x is less than the cardinality of y, or number of elements in x is less than the number of elements of y. okay, and basically x is also a subset. okay, in this case a proper subset of y, right? so y will be called as a superset. okay, हालांकि y is not the universal set here right now, guys. okay, so remember this, here y is the superset and x is the subset. okay, Now understand, the universal set also is the superset of all these. X का भी so superset है universal set, और Y का भी superset है the universal set. Okay, so the universal set is the superset of all the sets, but the superset may or may not be the universal set. Okay, are you understanding this? So let's go on to the next part. Okay, इसको denote करने का एक ही तरीका है, Y is a superset of X. Okay, now proper superset में क्या होगा, right? Y भी derived ही होगा basically. But X के number of elements हमेशा क्या होंगे, Y से कम ही होंगे always. Okay, so we have a proper superset. Okay, it is denoted by this symbol. Y is a proper superset of X. Okay, the next part is empty set. Empty set has no elements. Okay, and last is basically singleton set. Singleton sets have exactly one element. Okay, guys, empty sets को denote करने के लिए we have two symbols. Okay, we have blank curly brackets like these. Okay, open and close, containing nothing, and we have phi, the Greek symbol phi, right? So both denote the same thing. They denote null set or empty set. Okay.